prepping a little. Can you guys hear me?
Jeremy?
Okay, we're good. We're good.
We're good.
I was scared.
Are you going to introduce us, Jeremy, or what's going on here?
Yeah. So, here we are at the Burg Boys, episode 53. And we are off to a roaring start. Boys, let's introduce ourselves. Raj, go ahead, man.
Yeah, last couple weeks have been crazy out here, weather-wise and just within my profession currently. But we had a week where it was, in the 30s, and then we had a week that it was in the 70s, and now like today it was 78, and tomorrow it's supposed to be like 42. So it's interesting weather-wise, but I can't complain too much there. I just would like a little consistency, whatever temperature that's at. But I was able to get a lot of yard work done. Spent my spring break in Wisconsin, so that was fun being able to see family and do that sort of thing. And now it's getting back to the grind of teaching, and my youth weightlifting camp started back up, so I'm doing after-school football workouts, followed by the youth camp, and then coming home and doing that dad and husband life. So it's busy, but it's a good busy.
All right. You're not coaching baseball or anything like that?
Nope. I got asked to, but out here, I would say of all the sports that Colorado offers, I would say baseball is like the craziest one. So like it's I don't want to say cutthroat, but it's intense out here. And therefore the time commitment is ridiculous. And so I just, with how crazy and how much time I spend in football in the summer and in the fall,
I feel like baseball is really cutthroat, like almost everywhere, it seems like.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts how many games they play. And, if you want to play high school ball in the spring, you have to play fall ball.
Yeah,
it's like, no, let the kid play soccer, let the kid play football, let the kid do something, but that's the way it's becoming. So it's trying to balance that, manage that, because ultimately you're never going to change it, because parents are going to do what parents want to do for their kids, but hopefully it changes. Hopefully it lessens up on the kids a little bit.
Matt, let's hear from you, man.
Yeah, been pretty relaxing couple weekends here in La Crosse. I don't exactly remember the last episode we did, but I think one of the weekends, Mike, his family, my parents came up. I don't know if we did an episode right after that or not. I'm trying to think. This weekend didn't do a whole lot. Saturday we went to this home show. So it's a bunch of local vendors. I went to the Omni Center on Alaska's hockey rink, and you can just kind of go figure out some stuff. Got a couple ideas, but we'll see what happens. And then I think I sent you guys a picture. I went to this cool bar, which I've never been to for work or outside of work. It's called Leo Leona's. It's actually for people that don't know, the Saints used to have their training camp in La Crosse. And so this bar is kind of not out in the middle of nowhere, but on the outskirts of La Crosse. I think it's actually in the town of Middle Ridge. And so actually a lot like Drew Brees, Sean Payton, actually, and a lot of their players would go up to that bar just because they didn't, they didn't want to go out on La Crosse, so people didn't, know who they were, blah, blah, blah. So it's actually a pretty cool place. If you guys come up, we'll have to go there. Other than that, it's cold. That's about it.
I'm planning on coming up there a lot, Matt, and I mean that when I say that. But like,
Sounds good.
sounds like you and Uncle Jay live the life. Like you're just on the you're literally on the water every weekend.
Yeah. I
Um,
think usually the summers are pretty busy, but luckily this summer, well, not even this summer, I feel like so every weekend in April we're busy, but actually pretty much the rest of the summer we're pretty open. So pretty excited about that.
yeah,
So yeah,
right on, man.
whenever.
Right on, man. Mike, what's up?
What's
What's up, baby?
not too not too much, Jeremy. Yeah, I've been visited Matt 2 weekends ago. That was fun. Always good to see family. This past weekend didn't do a whole lot either. Actually, Annette's parents came up. Her aunt Cindy and Uncle George. We have the new restaurant at the golf course, the Schwamigan Bay Golf Club. For those of you that actually rocking the, let's see here, the logo there. We've actually been starting kind of getting set up for that. We currently still have like probably a foot of snow on the ground right now.
How many?
Probably like a foot of snow, probably.
Oh.
And Wednesday we're actually in the area of maybe getting, it's either 4 inches or a foot on Wednesday of snow. So we got that going. Golf course won't be opening up anytime soon right now, but yeah, been busy. Obviously recruiting a little bit. Haven't been on the road as much. Might be traveling in the next couple of days here, or the next week or so, doing some scouting for hockey. But our incoming recruiting class is starting to shape up a little bit, which is it's exciting. So yeah. What about you, Jeremy?
Yeah, I mean, feels like it's been a while, but it's our usual 2 weeks, really. Our last episode was with Tanner Sheeby, the boys coach. So we'll thank him again right now, I guess, for coming on. But yeah, kind of a crazy couple weeks for me. I had my grandma's funeral a couple weekends ago, and then actually had spring break this past week. So I was off for the whole week. So today was just like miserable, like trying to get back into like the mindset. Yeah, the routine. And I was struggling all day, and then finally, like at the end of the day, I was like, I kind of was feeling a little bit more. But also, something really messed up, and I know you guys know this. My uncle lost his dog, had his dog stolen out of his truck. He was at Home Depot in the Dells, and some felony couple decided to come in and break his windshield, take his dog. So I'm just kind of shouting out right now, dog's name is Mabel. If anybody's listening, check our Facebook page. We've shared it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So any help is appreciated. But other than that, just kind of a rough couple weeks, dealing with all that stuff. But actually, a while back, I don't know if I shared this or not, but I coached the senior team, Region 4, Section 4, to a second place finish. Gosh, we lost to like Hudson and Superior, that group. But otherwise, we beat the Madison area, and we beat, gosh, I want to say the Wausau West area. So some really good teams from those areas. And so that was pretty fun and pretty cool experience for me. It's the first time kind of coaching outside of RWD, and I'm coaching Blue Devils this summer too. So exciting.
You guys
times.
started that,
but
Jay Green?
Anyway, yep. So that was some of the stuff
Yes,
I was doing tonight and yesterday. But 3 tournaments, late April, May. I mean, that's really it now. Might do a little preseason stuff with them come September-ish, but we'll see. So let's jump in. We don't really have an itinerary today, but let's start out with some baseball news. So baseball is coming back. It's official. April 7th.
Next Thursday.
That sound right? Yeah,
Yep.
April 7th is the official start date. Who do the Brewers got, Matt? Do you know?
They go to the Cubs opening series.
Okay. And then
At
that
Marcus
weekend they're
Stroman.
home.
Yep.
Yeah, Marcus Stroman.
Which actually,
Marcus Stroman.
speaking of quickly, Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee's area code is 414. Does that sound right?
Yeah,
believe.
it does.
I have no clue.
So their first home series on 4/14, they're selling like 1,000 tickets for $4.14, and the starting time is at 4:14. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's interesting to say the least. But the Brewers haven't really they've really had their typical Brewers offseason. They traded Avisail. They didn't trade Avisail Garcia. They lost him to free agency to the Marlins. They traded Jackie Bradley Jr. to the Red Sox for Hunter Renfroe. And Hunter Renfroe is basically replacing Avisail Garcia's production. But, the Brewers have been pretty heavy on their pitching for years now. And all of our pitching staff is back. We just re-signed Hader through arbitration. So he's good to go. I think that's going to be our strength. But I was looking at something. It's funny that one of the higher teams, the Mets, like second highest earning, Max Scherzer is going to earn more than the entire Baltimore Orioles roster.
I saw that.
Isn't that nuts, guys?
That's crazy.
And the Brewers have done better over the years of spending money. Like they really have. They're middle of the pack, little farther in the back, but more than they have in the past. And so you can't fault. Is it Antanasio?
Yeah, owner-wise,
that's his name. So you can't fault him too much there because he's fielded competitive ball clubs. But at the end of the day, we can continue to have this conversation. We're just not going to be able to land the big fish, So
no, and like kind of speaking off that, Jay Green, like guys like we picked up Andrew McCutchen, obviously a huge name a couple years ago, and it's kind of fallen off a little bit, but not a ton.
Yeah.
So like teams like the Brewers have to depend on guys that kind of like these prove it deals where it's like, all right, come in for a year and hopefully they can just tear it up and then go get paid.
Well, he batted like 212 last year, so he had he still had good RBIs, but anyway, Mike said that he's gonna try harder to watch some Brewer games this year. And Raj is always good to go to one or two Brewers games at Coors. So
yep.
So anyway, I'm excited to have baseball on TV. It's just a little something different. I've been following their spring training sets. We're hitting the ball. So,
and what's the big rule changes? DH in the NL, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And
so
then what was
they
the
got rid of the
no they
so
brought
they
it.
Did it?
No, they brought it back. They voted on it again.
Yeah, that is so
the
stupid.
extra innings thing?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh,
They're gonna have the guy
so
on
it's still
second.
little league. So it's still a little league tournament, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what about the what was the I thought I read something about playoffs. Did they change how many teams get in or something?
Yes, they did.
What was that? To 12 or something? Or what was it? 12?
14?
It was something like it was
There were
somewhere around
7
there.
on each side, I think.
Yeah, 7.
Okay. Yeah, because that's right. Yep.
Yeah. So there's that. The DH is back, and so I don't know what the Brewers are planning to do there. I don't know if they're planning to platoon McCutchen and Kane there. Kane could obviously use some more time off and use save his body a little bit. He's getting a little older. But guys like Albert Pujols just signed with the Cardinals, which
very cool.
I think is awesome.
Yeah.
And even them being in division, I just think that's cool. That's very cool.
Probably the best home run I've ever seen. Matt and I and Big Mike was at the game. Dude, this was probably how long ago was that, Matt? Do you remember that home run?
I was in high school still.
Anyways, so you know that glass in left field?
By Bernie's slide and stuff back there.
First inning, dude, he cracked one, and I thought it was gonna break the glass. It was but it was like just a frozen rope line drive, just boom, right into the glass. That was insane.
But I think the DH helps the Brewers too because of how many like random utility players we have.
Agreed.
And we have a couple heavier set gentlemen that play first base that don't necessarily have to play first base now too.
Well, yeah.
So they don't have to worry about playing a field position. So now, the one thing I've always personally felt the Brewers lacked is that true power hitter.
Yeah.
Like just true power. Like I don't care if you bat 230, but you're a dangerous bat that they kind of have to worry about. And I think the DH and the NL opens that up because there's a lot of guys out there like a Joey Gallo or like those dudes that hit bombs, but might not always be the best defensively,
Right.
So,
right. Mm-hmm. So yeah, baseball's back. Gosh, I feel like I was going to say something. Yeah, it is 12. It is 12 teams.
It is.
12 teams. Okay.
Yeah, it is 12 teams. So
6 and 6.
Yeah.
2 wild cards.
Yep, 2 wild cards. Or is that? I don't know.
Weren't they talking about at one point doing buys?
Yeah, and then
but that got voted down or something, right?
Yeah, must have.
Yeah. I thought I remember hearing that was part of the, but I can't remember if the players were for that or the owners were for that. I couldn't remember, but
right. So we'll talk about the Badgers here real quick. Badger basketball. What would have been the second round exit?
Yep.
Second round exit to Iowa State. Ugly Badger loss per usual, like most of their losses. It was just kind of like you could see it coming. I mean, you could see it coming. But otherwise, I don't have a ton to say there. You guys about that game?
I would say for me, the only thing is I personally think that game goes a lot different if Chucky doesn't get hurt. I think it's still a pretty low-scoring contest. I mean, it was 54-49 final.
Yeah.
And the Iowa State's defense was just one, we couldn't shoot. I think at one point
we went like 2 for 30 on
3-point. So that's just not going to happen. Obviously, it's more than likely Johnny Davis's last year, which sucks. He's a great player, but Brad Davidson, obviously 5 years. And then I think there was one other guy that one of the big dudes, I think, is a senior too. But yeah, tough loss. I would have liked to see him, at least in the Sweet 16, if not for sure the Elite 8. Especially how kind of our end of the bracket worked out there. Miami upset Auburn. So then we're playing Miami to go play Kansas. But it's like,
they would have. It was something like they would have played 3 games against a 10 seed or higher.
Exactly.
Like it doesn't work out that way. And all the games were in Chicago.
Yeah.
So like they had it would have been set up pretty nice.
Exactly.
I agree with you, Matt. I mean, the Badgers could have won that game very easily if they shot better.
Mm-hmm.
Chucky going down, I think, not from an offensive standpoint, but I think him from just running the show as a point guard type thing,
he's going to be good next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I do have to give a little, I know you guys will hate it, but I'm going to do it anyways. I do got to give a little shout out to Iowa State, though, because I just found out that their head coach played basketball at Whitewater. So he's born in Milwaukee, played for Whitewater, and then went about. But the cool thing about Iowa State, though, and I know you guys know this, we talked about it, but just for our listeners, is they won 2 games last season. And now they make it to the Sweet 16. It's just cool.
Yeah, that's fair. There's worse teams we could have lost to. There's no
doubt. 100%.
Yeah. But we could have lost to St. Peter's, right?
Right.
What's interesting to me, it's going to be interesting to see how with Johnny Davis's success, if that's going to help Greg Gard out recruiting wise.
Yeah.
For the next.
It's a great point.
Because from the perspective, it's always been, because like if you go back to his freshman year, his numbers weren't off the charts. Like he was a good freshman, but he obviously put in the work, developed. Guard obviously was a huge part of, and the program was a huge part of doing that. So maybe that, let's see how that maybe we can get the 5-star kid that will develop for a year or two and then move on. Or what's really going to be interesting too is like, and you guys know this too, just with like football, but basketball is the same way. It's just the transfer portal.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, I know the Badgers were linked to a couple guys there, but if you're looking from a transfer portal perspective and you see what Johnny Davis did in pretty much 1 year, who's not to say like a kid's going to be intrigued by that of, hey, that could be me, like, and then I'll move on to the NBA or whatever.
Yeah. And two things with that too, that I actually just read an article about it. Maybe it was a week ago or so. There's actually been a movement in college basketball that players aren't doing the one and done at the same rate that they were 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
So they're actually staying, and it doesn't mean they're staying for 4 years, but like Johnny Davis, they're freshmen, late second round pick. If I stay as a sophomore, maybe I get in the first round.
Mhm.
But at least that movement, I think, is helping teams like Wisconsin. But two, I think, like you mentioned, Mike, I think another big moment, I think, Matt, maybe you sent it to our group, but it was a big game. I think it was it when we beat Purdue, maybe? Where they had like 2 or 3 big time recruits at that game.
Yeah, I think it was Purdue.
And so
Yeah,
like
at home.
having the player of the conference, having the coach of the conference,
Yeah.
they both won those awards. You just beat a ranked team at a packed Kohl Center. I feel like that's got to have an impact on those recruits' decisions.
You would think so.
And so along with your point, Mike, I don't think the Badgers are where they are this year without Johnny Davis or Greg Gard. So I think those two alone should increase the recruiting and help,
Yeah, Johnny, you got to give Greg Gard a boatload of credit for what.
Yeah.
I mean, they were projected to finish, 9th or 10th?
10th.
And go on, and obviously, 10th.
And then
they win the Big Ten regular season championship. But
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's. I think, what is he in now? 7th or 8th year Greg Gard is now. He's obviously established what he wants to do. He's obviously been very successful in what he does. So, I mean, hopefully now he can kind of take that next step. And I mean, if you're a college kid, why would you not want to go to Wisconsin?
Speaking about Greg Gard too, I mean, obviously, this past, was it summer when those leaked tapes came out? And I mean, so he was catching fire from everywhere about that. And I also think
and that could have turned out awful.
Exactly. And I honestly think that he also kind of changed his coaching style, because I think he also realized hey, I got Johnny Davis here. Just go do what you got to do, man. If you got to take the ball to the rack and not run the offense on a play, just go do it. And I think that's going to help when these 5-star, 4-star kids are all right, so they're kind of molding to the players now. I mean, Greg Gard's won two Big Ten titles, I believe, since he's been head coach, and if not 2 coaches of the year. I don't know.
And maybe this plays a factor to their success this season, but maybe getting rid of Orlando Tucker, maybe he was a cancer to the team. You know what I'm saying, though? Because think about it. If Greg Gard's saying one thing and Tucker's telling these young kids something else, that might have been a reason Johnny Davis didn't explode as a freshman.
Yeah.
He might have felt like he was torn between, okay, this dude's telling me one thing, the head coach is telling me another, where this year there was no drama, no issues.
Yep.
And I mean, look what happened. So I'm not saying, but it could be a factor to
winning solves a lot of issues too, though.
Well, yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So a little mid episode activity here for you guys. Okay. So that's what I was doing at the start when everything went. Anyway, there are 4 teams left. North Carolina, right?
Yep.
Villanova, Duke, Kansas. Okay, I'm going to take the last choice. So I'm just going to take myself out of it. A little Burg Boys competition here. Okay. Who first one to answer gets the pick first? Who was the 94 Packers backup quarterback? 94 Packers backup quarterback.
Don Mikowski.
No.
Doug Peterson.
No.
Man, that's a good one. 94.
2 good ones.
Hold on.
No looking it up, Mike.
I'm not. Dude.
Oh, he definitely was. He definitely was.
Looking it up.
Oh, I won't look it up.
I could see you
such a liar.
Kurt Warner wasn't a backup.
The dude, if I say it, someone's gonna.
I'll come back to it.
You guys are both looking. Mike is definitely looking it up right now.
My hands are right here.
Do you guys know Mr. Rogers?
Ty Detmer.
Matt Hasselbeck.
Nope. Do you guys know Mr. Rogers?
Mr. Rogers?
Like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
Yeah. You guys all know that guy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I know who it is.
Yeah, if you look it up.
What's his first name? What's Mr. Rogers' first name?
I don't know.
Oh, I have no idea.
Who was the lefty for
Mark Brunell?
That's it.
Thanks, Mike.
Raj, who do you want?
Oh, shoot. I'm gonna go with my gut here. because it was actually my wife who came up with the philosophy, and it's flawless. So I'm going Duke.
Okay. All right. So Mike and Matt, you're left. Do you guys know the actor of Steve Urkel?
No.
No.
I thought that might be a stretch.
Yeah.
The team in the NBA with the worst record right now.
I don't follow.
Ooh, I
it
think
yet.
I know this one.
The Pelicans.
There,
No. Just keep guessing teams.
Knicks.
Nope. Keep guessing teams.
East or West?
Portland Trailblazers.
There's one East and one West. They're each tied.
Oklahoma State Thunder.
Nope.
What?
I know this one.
Can you give us
Tracy McGrady.
Orlando Magic?
Okay. All right. Matt, who do you want second?
I want Kansas.
Kansas. Okay. Mike, who do you want?
I'll take Villanova.
Okay. So that leaves me with NC. Okay. Okay. So let's dive into her, boys. The Packers' excitement. Okay. Since we last talked, a few things that became more clear.
Just a few.
Rodgers' contract, kind of. And Rosh is going to talk about that in a moment. Davonte Adams is no longer a Packer. Would you guys have thought that 2 weeks ago?
No.
Ever? Would you have thought about that ever?
I thought there was zero chance that he
This
was going to play for anyone else but the Packers going into this season.
Yes.
I could have seen him sit out rather than play for somebody else.
I would agree with that too.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys like the way it happened?
I mean, I feel like we've talked about it. Obviously, upset the fact that he just didn't want to play for us, but I think the fact that we got stuff out of it instead of him just walking free is huge.
I would agree. I'm not, I'm going to keep going. We'll come back. I'm going to keep going. Draft is coming up. Okay. That's a few weeks away. The mocks have us all over the place. I would imagine we're not going to get any of them that they say. That would be my guess.
Yeah.
Valid point.
Well,
That
what I could see, this is Goot's fourth draft.
He's traded up in every one.
He's traded up in every one. So I mean, you have the 22nd and 28th pick.
I think I read somewhere some metric thing that if we traded the 22nd and our first pick in the second round, that they project that we could move up into the 15 area. So take that for what it's worth.
Yeah.
I'll take it for what it's worth.
We've been pissed off every year from what we draft.
Yeah.
Last year wasn't bad.
No.
Besides Josh Jackson, I was happy.
We were all jacked about
We were
that.
all pretty happy
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
First round pick, we get him in the second, we're jacked, and then
We thought he was solid.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
We all thought he was solid.
He's with the Chiefs now, isn't he? I think so.
I didn't know he was still playing.
I don't think he is.
Yeah, he's with the Chiefs.
Speaking of the Chiefs, that's my next point. Marquez Valdez-Scantling is a Chief. Equinus St. Brown is a Bear. Who else am I thinking? Oh,
the dudes that went to the
Darius
Vikings.
Smith.
And that cornerback.
And
whatever his name
Brandon
was.
Sullivan is a Viking.
Sullivan. That's right.
I'm sure somebody went to the Lions that we're missing, but
Jamal Williams went last year. We'll count that one.
Yeah. I still wish he was back, but has he fumbled yet? Did he fumble this year?
That's a good question.
That's a good question. Somebody look that up for me, please.
I'm on it.
Okay. So we're probably gonna have another episode before the draft, right? That timing.
Yeah, that's like
up,
a month away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe two episodes.
Yeah.
Maybe two. Okay. So the Adams ordeal. what I meant by when I asked, "Are you guys okay with how it happened?" was because he had made some comments, and I don't remember the comments specifically, but the comments were around.
Well, he talked about how there's nothing to do in Green Bay, basically, or said something along not nothing to do in Green Bay, but it's obviously completely different than Vegas. I guess my 2 cents. If me and you, Jeremy, are playing in the NFL, we've been buddies forever. Say we went to the same college, we play on the same college team. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Like obviously, and then you throw in the family perspective too, where he talked about, his parents can come to, or his grandmother's older or something. He said, or his parents can come to games now.
Yep.
And I guess other than winning a championship in Green Bay, like I'm pretty sure he has almost every single record in Green Bay. For a wide receiver,
Chris Olave will soon.
But I guess from my perspective, where I'm, I guess, a little shocked as well. Rodgers knew all of this was going on, and he's still here.
Carries the G.
And just the way he's like, his name's been through the absolute mud the last year and a half now. Is he?
I was one of them.
Denver, and then all these other teams, and and then you see all these other quarterbacks, like
that's what I was.
Russell Wilson is gone.
Watson,
Deshaun Watson's in Cleveland.
Matt
Ryan,
Carson Wentz,
and Rodgers is still in Green Bay.
Yep.
The last guy you'd think is still in Green Bay. So, it sucks. In Goot we trust, though. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, it's kind of piggybacking off that. As of now, obviously, from now until whenever game number 1 is a long ways away. Yeah. But it seems like right now they're just trying to. Our defense is arguably going to be better than it was last year. You're picking up Jair that didn't play, and then we pretty much have everyone back. Zadarius played what? Game combined?
And we re-signed Campbell. That's
the big one. Yeah, that was the big one. It sounded like Goot said today, and they're having the owners meeting or GM meeting, whatever it is, that they really want to see Jair in the slot. And then he's also going to be traveling a lot with wide receivers now. So then
because you got Douglas and Stokes on the outside. And that was going to be my next point.
Our corners are nasty.
Yeah. Well, that was going to be my next point. My next point to you, Matt, is even though we retain everybody, the reason I think we get better is because of guys like Stokes, guys like Rashawn Gary, guys like Rasul Douglas. Those guys are only going to get better.
Yep.
They're not even in their primes yet, So they're only going to get better every year. And so I agree with you 100%. I think our defense is going to be significantly better. And so I think by them capitalizing on the franchise tag with Davonte allowed them to get under the cap.
Yep.
But it also created cap space because by trading him, they created that space to sign Rasul Douglas.
Yep.
And it also got draft compensation. We got 4 picks in the top 60 for a team that's been back-to-back NFC champs.
Back to back.
You know what I'm saying? So usually if you're an NFC champ, you're like the Rams, who I sent you guys that link today. They don't have a single pick in the top 100. Now it won them a Super Bowl.
They won a Super Bowl.
It won them a Super Bowl, but the fact that we are a very solid team going into the year with all that draft capital, I anticipate, I'm not saying crazy fireworks, but I think they're gonna get a combination of impact players year 1 with some depth pieces for the future. We say it all the time, that they could go wide receiver. I honestly think they're gonna go wide receiver O-line with their first 2 picks. I really do. The more I think about it, the more obviously I'm a degenerate with those mock drafts, but there's a bajillion ways they could go with it, and if they trade up, that changes everything, But in terms of the Adams thing, it sucks. It really does. The dude's unreal. But at the same time, if he doesn't want to be here, he has reasons to go. He has reasons though. Now, he was a Raiders fan when they were in California, so we got to remember that. Now they're in Vegas, so it's not like he's truly going home because he's from California, not Vegas. But I get what he's saying. I get how he feels. And the fact that we got something for him, I mean, Amari Cooper, they got a 5th round pick, and they had some dead money. We had 0 dead money with Adams.
Exactly.
So that's huge, but with that franchise tag. So like, Goots out here freaking playing chess when we all think it's a game of checkers, So he knows what he's doing. And the Rodgers thing, I've been against a lot of the drama with Rodgers. You guys know that. But I got nothing right now, man. I mean, the fact that he knew about all this going on and still elected to come back says a lot about him. I mean, it really does.
I think two real quick things before I let Matt jump in. In 2000, when was Jair drafted? What year was that? 2018? Is it
2018?
What did
he's
I say?
The last one. He's the last one in the 2018 draft class.
Yeah, which is insane. But the other point I wanted to touch on too is we always talk about the Packers have been really fortunate to have 2 generational quarterbacks in the last 30 plus years. But you got to think of this too. Like, we've been pretty damn fortunate to have some solid wide receivers. You go back to the Jordy Nelsons, the Donald Drivers, the obviously Davonte Adams, and then you go back to like Antonio Freeman,
Sterling Sharp,
and now it's like, okay, we don't have a guy like that right now, clearly, which makes it really exciting. And I think if I was a betting man right now, I would say that this is the finally the year that we move up, draft a wide receiver. We're gonna trade up. Like I got a feeling, because there's in the top 10 there's no guys projected to go wide receivers anyways.
No,
like that high really. So
they'll all go in the teams.
I got a feeling that a guy that we want, like, we're gonna move up and do whatever it takes to get that guy.
Yeah, and I honestly think this year Rodgers has a say in it.
Yeah, that's what
I honestly believe that administration, or whatever you want to call them, learned from what happened last year, and I think they're going to give Rodgers like, hey, I mean, I don't think Rodgers is going to be the final decision maker, but I'm assuming they're saying, hey, Rodgers, what should these guys do you like?
Yeah,
and based on who he likes is going to determine if they move up, stay where they're at, because Rodgers might love a dude that's projected 2nd round, and they're like, okay, we'll just take him with our 28th. You never know, but I honestly think he'll have a say in that.
And I think he also has a say in these veteran, wide receivers as well. Like, I'm thinking there's probably, hey, out of these guys,
good segue here.
Okay, out of these guys, like, who do you want? And we'll see what they want for money. If it doesn't work out, doesn't work out. But I'm thinking that he's in the year.
Yeah.
Did you guys see how much Jarvis Landry wants?
Yeah. Wasn't it like
20 mil?
Yeah.
A year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Moving on to Jarvis Landry.
That's the next activity here. Over under 50. It's the name of the game. Over under 50% chance that you think we get these guys. Jarvis Landry.
Under.
Will Fuller.
Over.
Over. Could see that.
DK Metcalf.
Under.
I'm going to say over on that one.
Okay. Hey, you want to explain yourself, Mike, or no?
Well, I mean, Russell Wilson, they're obviously in full rebuild right now.
Okay.
I mean, isn't technically Drew Lock their starting quarterback right now?
And he's in the last year of his rookie contract, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they might want to trade him before re-signing him.
Julio Jones.
Above 50.
Dude, I don't want him.
I got to go with Rosh. I feel like, I think it's above 50.
You under, Mike, just because you don't want him?
Yeah.
Odell Beckham.
Under.
Chris Olaf.
Over.
I'm going to say, man, I'm going to say over too. That's the guy we all want.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure. Sure. Okay, Rosh, I'll give it to you for Rodgers' contract here.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to kind of be reading this thing. This is off a website that I look at, but the headline was Aaron Rodgers last season in Green Bay ? And so it talks about how some former Packers executive, Andrew Brandt, believes that the contract is essentially a 1-year deal for $42 million. So how is contract is technically classified as a 3-year, $150 million deal. The 2025 and 2026 years are considered dummy years to help assist in the cap management. So the deal provided with new money on top of the deal he already had is the amount of $123 million, plus the 2 additional years of 2023 and 2024. So that's like the new contract, because 25 and 26 are dummy years. Okay. So he said that these bonuses, it says next year there are 2 guaranteed option bonuses. These bonuses can be exercised by the Packers, so the Packers have control, and would travel to a new team upon trade. And with this option bonus structure, the dead money actually goes up the longer the contract goes on. So basically what he says is if he is traded or retires before next year's option, the Packers are left with $40 million of dead money. Okay. He explains if he were to play again for the Packers in 2023, the dead money would rise to a never before seen proportion. Meaning the dead money would be unbelievable. He said Rodgers' cap hit for 2022 is $18.2 million. Then it increases to 23.9 from that. So in 2023, his cap hit 2023, it increases $23 million from a previous voidable year. His 2024 cap hit would be over $40 million.
So basically, is he tradable?
Yeah, I mean, if they trade him, what he's saying is if Rodgers is going to retire or get traded, it needs to happen after next season. If it happens after 2023 or 2024, the Packers are going to be screwed over by cap hit and by dead money, unless the contract gets restructured again, which is the unknown. Like, who knows? He could restructure his contract every year,
Yeah.
But I just read that and thought that was just interesting because his contract is so ridiculous that it was hard to decipher. And that article kind of explained it a little bit better for like the stuff that we care about. You know what I'm saying? So
I think like his contract, I mean, just going off a blank eye, like his contract obviously was just like unheard of crazy. And then what was that? Probably like a week later, Deshaun Watson comes out and his contract is like absolutely absurd, weird. So yeah, I don't know. I just feel like that's the way the NFL is going now with these QBs.
I think it's safe to say this past month in the NFL was the craziest it's been.
Easily.
It was like however many first round draft picks were traded.
Yeah.
It was nuts. And I would argue it rivals the craziest of all the major sports.
100%.
Like NBA got a little crazy at the deadline this year, I would say.
Yeah.
But nothing compared to 5 quarterbacks had got traded, right? 4 or 5.
Well,
I can't remember.
Could be more with Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Who knows? And
then you throw in Davonte Adams and Tyreek Hill, arguably 2 of the top 5 wide receivers in the NFL.
Yeah.
You throw those 2, plus they signed record-breaking contracts on top of it. And then it's been bonkers, that's for sure. Jay Green, real quick before we move on. Jamal Adams did have a fumble this year.
Jamal Williams?
Yep. What'd I say? Jamal Adams? Jamal Williams did have a fumble.
That's too bad.
Just one?
Year. Yep, just one. So let me see here. Let me see how many carries. Does it show carries on this website?
Because he's got the record, right?
Yeah, I believe he had the record. Yep. Oh, rushes right here.
Oh, we forgot.
He has 653 rushes in his career, 1 fumble.
Dang.
And that's not even counting the times he's caught the ball, too.
That's actually where we were going to go next, Mike. So it's funny you brought that up. Yeah.
Okay.
So, did you guys really think Tom Brady was retired? That was the question that was next.
Yes, I did.
I honestly kind of did, but I don't know. Now it's kind of like, did he want to be traded? And then did you guys? I listened to Sports Talk Radio here in La Crosse. And I don't know if you guys saw like his dad's comments, pretty much saying that Adam Schefter and Jeff Darlington pretty much forced him into retirement. And I was
Sleepy Eyes Schefter?
Yeah, I was like, what? You're letting these guys force him into what? That doesn't make any sense. But I am crazy.
Mike, you got something you want to say?
Well, the joke is like, oh, he spent the last 2 months with his wife, or whatever. that
Yeah,
joke
I
is.
saw
But,
that
like,
joke.
I mean, it's absolutely insane. He's going to be 45. How old is he going to be?
45.
45.
45 years old, and he's coming back.
Yeah.
And the thing is, last year, like if you look at like how he looked last year, he looked
Like he could play another couple seasons.
he did.
Yeah, he finished
There-
what,
there-
second in the MVP,
Yep.
didn't he?
Yeah,
Yep.
and man, I just
His playing style is very conducive to him being able to
Yeah.
play for a long time.
Yes.
exactly
Yes.
big time.
And I think the timing of it, I think, is of big importance because we talked about in our group text, it was something like it was right before.
he was supposed to get a signing bonus or something like that.
No, it was something to do with them re-signing. It was right before free agency. It was like 2 days
Yeah.
before free agency.
Yep.
Because then, like, all of a sudden,
Fournette.
dudes started changing back.
Yeah.
Fournette's like, oh, wait a second, I'm coming back. And now they're all thinking that 30-year-old guard who retired, they think he might come out of retirement now because Brady's back. And so I think the timing of it.
Gronk hasn't signed yet, though.
No.
No.
I think that the timing of it, he did it then, so that way the Tampa Bay Bucks could make decisions based on having him opposed to a rebuild or finding a quarterback or whatever. So,
But I also feel it's kind of weird that Gronk hasn't signed yet because does he know that Brady maybe wants out of Tampa? I don't know.
I think Gronk every year, honestly, is just weighing whether he wants to play
True.
again or not.
Or party.
He did, yeah. That's playing or partying. I mean, that's a tough choice, but yeah, it's. I thought
Well, when you're him though, like what, like if you're Gronkowski, like what, this guy's got nothing else to accomplish.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. I mean, in terms of, I think Dean says, was there an angle? I don't know. Because I think by him retiring, if anything, would hurt the Bucks. You know what I'm saying? Because people would want to leave, like they almost did. But he could have used that. I don't know. That's a good question.
Then there's the comment too of,
That's a
do you
good question.
Do you think Brady just wanted to see, like, get all the people congratulating him and stuff like that, and then
Maybe. I still think that one meme is hilarious though, where it's a picture of those two kids playing Madden, and it said something about like, this is the closest they're going to get to their dad. Or something
yeah.
that.
Someone sent it in here. Yeah.
Missing daddy time, and they're playing Madden or something.
Yeah.
Well, I think he just wanted the attention. If you're asking me, yeah, I think it was just all these trades are they're going through, and Rodgers stuff is over, and now let's get the concentration back on me.
Yeah. I didn't win the Super Bowl. I didn't win the MVP. Other people got talked about. Now it's my turn.
Yeah, exactly. So also, you guys, in the news, if you didn't know, let me look this up real quick because I don't want to misspeak.
Real quick while you're looking that up, Jay Green. Frozen 4 is this weekend. We have Minnesota, who is back into the Frozen 4. They are going up against that. In my opinion, whoever wins that will win it all.
They're playing Michigan?
Nope. They're against Minnesota State Mankato.
You don't think Michigan has a chance, huh?
I just got a feeling there were obviously a lot of eyes on them this weekend, but like Frozen 4, like bigger crowd and stuff like that. And then it's Michigan versus. I do think Michigan will make it to the final.
Okay.
And they're playing Denver, which should be a good game. I
Yeah,
mean,
Should be both good games. Yeah.
four great teams that are in it. But yeah, I got Michigan versus Minnesota. I got Minnesota taking it down.
Okay. All right. So what I was looking up, you guys, and it's important that everybody mark their calendars. Saturday, April 16th will be the kickoff of the USFL season. New Jersey versus Birmingham.
Birmingham.
That's your team, right, Rosh?
Yeah, the
So
Stallions.
we all got teams. If you guys want to follow along. I don't even know if somebody's Michigan up there. You're Philadelphia or something, Matt.
I'm the Pittsburgh Maulers.
Pittsburgh. I'm the New Orleans Breakers. Mike's Michigan.
What are they? The Panthers?
What are they? The Panthers?
No,
Yeah.
you're the Panthers.
I'm the Stallions.
And,
He
Anyway,
doesn't even know his team.
Yeah, he even bought a shirt.
hey,
you
I
remember?
bought a shirt. I'm the most dedicated out of everybody here.
Hey,
Okay.
how bad is that shirt though? It literally looks
Oh,
like it was
man.
an elementary school project. Just plain
I
white
look-
with
hey,
just the
I
logo.
looked at
printed on.
I actually looked at a jersey as well, but they're a little too pricey.
what, $200 probably?
Jeez.
No, the shirt was only I think like $29.
Yeah.
The jerseys are like 60, 69.
That's not horrible.
That's not terrible, yeah. So, last thing before we go, our next guest that we're going to have on and let me know if you guys agree or disagree with this. Maybe one of the biggest sports people in Reedsburg.
Oh, I think
It's-
I think 100%. I mean,
That's
he's
a
been
fair-
around. I mean, shoot, I want to say 40 plus years he's been around Reedsburg sports, and yeah, we're having Troy Matz join us the next episode. So
Very
He's-
exciting, and we'll give you guys a heads up when we go live. But we're excited to have him. We got a lot of questions. I got a lot of questions for him.
I mean, just
You
think
know,
of
you know it's going to be a good question to ask him though, and I'm interested to see what he says. And we got to remember to ask him this: what's his favorite all-time call as an announcer? You know, because he does all the sports games.
Yeah.
It's like, what is his most memorable
that he's heard,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, that he's been a part
or
of, like,
that he's done.
yeah, like his most
Yeah.
memorable Reedsburg moment
It had-
that he's done. That he's
For sure, it had to
called,
been
you know?
Pirates. It
Well-
for sure had to been Pirates.
well, just think of too, like all the interviews he did.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With
Yeah.
I mean,
we got
shoot,
a
he's
lot of
probably
questions.
Oh yeah.
He's probably think of how many coaches.
Yep.
Like it's
Well, I remember listening to him on the radio all the time when my brother was playing and stuff, you know, so it was all through that, and then through us going through school and all that stuff. And
This could
You
be
know,
one of our
he's-
bigger ones.
oh yeah,
Bigger ones, guys.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So,
it's gonna
All
be
right.
a good one.
well,
Did you wanna it's outside the Burg Boys realm to get involved with Hollywood. But but I think we got to talk about it.
Yeah. It was going a little bit this morning, a little last night. I fell asleep before it happened.
Me and Mike went back and forth.
I
a
was
little
gonna
bit.
say I woke up
And then this morning I switched sides. I jumped ship and joined.
You
that.
did. You did. So I'll let you guys decide for yourself, because I'm sure you guys got a stance. And Mike, you've been a little quiet this morning about it. I'm interested to hear what your take on it. But let's see. The Chris Rock, Will Smith. Do we need to go over what actually happened so that people who may not?
Yeah,
I think people should
Chris
know.
Rock-
I think people should know
Chris-
by now.
yeah.
But
Chris Rock was roast. That's what you do. If you're a host, like you're gonna crack jokes, and obviously Chris Rock being a comedian, of course he's gonna crack jokes. So Will Smith's wife has
Alopecia.
exactly has that condition. He made a joke about that kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think Will Smith looked like a complete idiot, and just the way he would the way it was obviously edited as for people listening in the U.S. of like what he was saying. He said, "You don't effing say that about my wife or whatever." But like I don't know. And then his acceptance speech. Did you guys watch that at all? Like he's
I
just
didn't see
like
that.
he was
changed it.
bawling, crying, and then he's like talking about he's the chosen one from God, and like just a absolute puddle in his I don't know. Hey, I think he lost it there last night.
I just love just the world, because you go on Twitter and you'll find Mike Lennon's, and
Yeah.
everyone has like their opinion. No one truly knows, right?
Oh yeah.
And you have those people, but then you have the opposite people who are like, that was the greatest acceptance speech I've ever heard from Will Smith. And it's so weird, like they see both. But I guess my opinion or my thought process is, I agree, Mike, that the host is supposed to get the attention of people. Like I 100% agree with that. I think that saying the joke he did at the Oscars was crossing the line, because the Oscars by definition or by like history is supposed to be a classy event, and I just picture myself, if I'm there amongst all my colleagues in front of millions of people watching on TV, and somebody's bashing my wife's disease, like, yeah. Now, am I going to go up
about it?
And but there's two ways Will Smith could have handled it. One, waited till after the show, gone up and said, "Dude, don't do that." Or two, walk up on stage and slap the crap out of him, And I saw one funny post, and I'm not saying I agree with it, but I saw one dude who's he's a defensive coordinator. He's been in the NFL, he's been in college and stuff, and he's been super supportive of like high school coaches. So I interact with him a bunch on Twitter, and he said something like, "You know what? I think this is a great lesson for the country because we have so many keyboard warriors that think they can just say whatever they want with no consequences. Will Smith just proved there's consequences to the words that you say." So it's there's a different perspective, because when you think about it, like I think back to when we were in elementary school, before social media existed. If there was an issue ever, how was it handled?
Wrestling.
Think about it. Yeah, you wrestled or you fought. And if you lost, it was done. You moved on. You never brought it up again. It was so like it.
But there's a difference between fighting and wrestling and then hitting somebody who.
I agree.
Slapping.
I agree. Now, I can't wait till Matt talks, because Matt persuaded me, and I did some more digging, and he convinced me. So I jumped ship.
Go ahead.
I jumped ship.
I think, and I was just actually being devil's advocate right when I woke up.
No, I know you were. This is what you do.
I was like, wait, what is going on here? I missed a lot. And so I was like, you know what? I think it's fake. It's the Oscars, it's Hollywood actors. It's got to be fake. So then I did a little digging.
Twitter.
Getting ready for work on a Monday morning.
There's just a couple things, like when he stood there with his hands behind his back, like preparing before he got hit. I thought that's a little odd.
Yep.
And then that post, which that could be false too, but I don't know, man. It just seemed the fact that the initial joke, they cut to the camera to Will Smith. He was laughing.
Yep.
Hysterically.
But, yes.
His wife wasn't.
No. So I don't know when they went away if she just gave him just gave him the look, and then he's like, "Oh boy, okay." Went up there and did his thing or what, but I don't know. I think it might be fake. Also, a second thing, do you guys remember that show on Comedy Central, like where they just roast one guy?
Yeah.
Will Smith would be not good at that.
I agree.
Chris Rock could have went ham after that. Like,
he easily. Yeah.
He could have just.
Unless it was fake.
It was fake.
Because here's the point that I made too.
But it's a classy establishment. Why would it be fake?
Because their numbers are struggling big time for viewers. And I heard the guy on the radio say it this morning too. And here's the deal. If nothing happened last night, would we be talking about the Oscars?
I wouldn't even known it was on.
Exactly. And so it did exactly.
You're going to want to tune in next year to see if there's a round two.
Yeah. And my news station made a great point. He goes, "What was the biggest movie this year that came out? What do you guys think it was?"
Batman.
It made $1.4 billion.
Probably that Encanto movie.
Spider-Man.
Oh,
Spider-Man 3.
Close. I got half of it.
Okay. Because of that, guess how many Oscars Spider-Man 3 won?
I don't know. All of them?
0.
So the point of the Oscars is it's all about like these original movies or these movies that you've never heard of or these they're not giving Oscars anymore to the movies that the general public are actually watching. Like half the movies they said last night, I'm like, I don't even know that was a thing, But like, where's the actors for Spider-Man? Where's the actors for this? And so the guy on my radio station was talking about how they are trying to get the Joe Schmo population back into watching the Oscars. Well, how do you do it? You walk a dude up on stage and slap another man, you're going to get the Joe Schmo population back in to watch it.
Well, I also saw Chris Rock is doing a stand-up gig in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, God.
And before the show, they were like, I think it was $60 to get in, and now it's like $350 just to get in there.
Yeah.
For sure.
So like everyone's benefiting from it, if it's real or fake.
And when Will Smith went up there and slapped him, first of all, Chris Rock didn't flinch.
No.
And even if you're
he stepped back kind of like this.
I know, but if you think about it, Mike, if I walked up to you and you're not expecting it at all and I just go to slap you, you're going to at least try to move. You're going to still get hit, but you're going to try to move.
Will
And then-
Smith just slapped the shit out
And
of
then
me.
where was the security, number two? Nobody,
that's true.
nobody came up there to like, you don't even see anybody walking on stage. And then the fact that he goes back and sits down and they do the rest of the show like nothing happened. It's like, dude, this is weird. Like something's going on. So I'm all on board the Matt train. It's a setup. That's my final opinion.
Okay.
Jay Green, what do you think?
Yeah. You think it's real or fake? That's number one.
I think it's real, and Will Smith just lost his marbles.
Yeah, I think Will's a little cuckoo.
Okay.
A little
Fair enough.
cuckoo, for sure. But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
The only reason I was on the Will Smith train, one, I don't appreciate jokes about diseases because it's something you can't control.
I don't think anybody does.
But number two, the reason I was on the Will Smith train is because Denzel Washington's on the Will Smith train, and I love Denzel.
Chris,
So that's called the transitive property, Jay Green.
Chris Rock would be dead by now if everybody took what he did. He says serious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes there's consequences for the things that come out of your mouth.
Okay, but then there should be consequences for you putting your hand on another man when he didn't want to be touched.
Yeah, you fight back. But I'm telling you right now, if Chris Rock and Will Smith fight, Will Smith's winning that every time.
Nah, Chris Rock can run faster, probably.
No, he's old. Did you see how old he is, by the way? He had a
You know what?
wrinkly old face.
He's got Adam Sandler on his side. He's got Rob Schneider,
Kevin
He's got
James. Kevin James
David Spade.
What a crew.
from the grown-ups.
All right, Shaq's a part of those guys. He was in Grown Ups too.
That's true.
So,
And I
all
do
right,
like Shaq.
all right. So, appreciate you guys joining us. Have a nice April Fool's coming up here.
Just a real quick shout out
Yeah,
as
Mike.
well. If anybody's up in the Northwoods this summer and wants to do a little golfing, head out,
Oh,
check
God.
out the Schwabingen Bay Golf Club and ask for Mike, 715-682-8004. Thank you.
All right. And on that, we'll see you guys later. Take care.
Have a
See
good
you
one.
guys.